When we're talking about capital sort of allocation in the investment decisions, where would you say risk would add the most value when it comes to that?
I think that goes back to what we discussed at the start, which was risk appetite and what level of risk and what will we tolerate and what will we not tolerate. And then in terms of more of a framework decision or more of a framework element is the things like scenario analysis that you do, which feeds into your capital allocation. That's where risk can really add value. They can structure the scenario analysis so you have really good conversations with the business about the potential of things going wrong. I think a lot of organizations had the pandemic on their risk register as a potential emerging risk or something that might happen in the future, but it was highly unlikely. But as we all know, it happened. We had to deal with it, things like that. So it's those black swan events, the severe but plausible, and really engaging the business in a way, if this happened, could we cope with the impact? The likelihood is very little, but if it were to happen, it could be catastrophic. So really, and that's just what I feel, risk can add value in those interesting areas such as scenario analysis, and then work closely with finance, actually quantifying what the potential losses could be and helping the business understand how it would impact them.
Yeah, and I think just completely agree. And I think just expanding on that as well, risk have that unique, are in a unique position where for scenario and stress testing and defining all the scenarios, they've got visibility over cyber risk, business continuity, operational risk and resilience, and financial risks. So actually being challenging about the scenarios that are being looked at and what's not being looked at is really value additive for the business and for looking at what potentially could be a loss-making events from a capital or a liquidity perspective.
And also risk. One of the things I really enjoy about my career is I get to see all areas of the business. Yeah. You're not just focused on the first line of defence, or as it has evolved. You're looking at compliance. You're looking at the back office functions. You're seeing things across the board, and that puts risk in a unique position. You can be talking with the business, and you might raise something. Okay, we've had this issue in operations. Could that happen again? The business maybe doesn't necessarily have insight and oversight of that, but risk does. It is in a unique position in that regard.
Yeah, I think that new product sign-off process, whatever it looks like in your organization, or deciding a new venture or whether to go into a new market, we do in the risk and compliance and legal functions. We get to really input to that discussion. We get to first of all amplify some of those quieter voices in the room. The ops team that gets overlooked and won't be able to service the product, or the customer services team who are hearing the complaints from customers and so on. So we get to amplify that, but we also get to talk about, if we go into this market, they have a particular consumer angle, or the regulator in this market, is particularly hot on this topic, and it actually can weigh into, do we do X, do we do Y, do we go here, do we go, where do we locate the next office, where do we locate the next branch, and so on, and done well, that becomes a really live and vibrant discussion, risk-informed discussion.